my house shot with a respite, shot with a respite, shot with a respite.
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The bounce is back.
I'm in love with you, but this ain't the honeymoon. We're past the infatuation phase. We're right in the thick of love. At times we get sick of love. It seems like we argue every day. I know I misbehaved and you've made your mistakes, and we both still got room left to grow. And though love sometimes hurts, I still put you first, and we'll make this thing work. But I think we should take it slow. We're just ordinary people.
You know, this feels so mellow coming in.
We don't know.
Feels a little sad and even. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. I am your host, Jill Munroe. Listen. You know, the song is correlating with one of tonight's topics that we're going to get into soon. I am so glad you are here. This is the show where we hit all the trending topics and headlines across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. Of course, as I said, I'm your host, Jill Munroe. Thank you for clocking in on a Tuesday. We appreciate it. Now, first, before I get into anything, make sure you're following us across all social media, KBLA 1580. If you're into YouTube and you want the visual to go along with this audio experience, check in there. There's a community, there's a chat. They are lit. They are very opinionated. So go check that out, you know, as a sort of add value to the show. Also, download the app so that if you don't have time to maybe take in the whole show tonight, you can listen later. We're right there for you. All of the shows, in fact, you can even leave a message on the app for any of the hosts on the station, or just sound off about your opinion. If you want to call in and give your opinion on any stories tonight, 800-920-1580. That is where you can reach us. You know, we love to hear what you have to say, and we appreciate you for locking in. Now that we've gotten all the housekeeping out of the way, let me let you know what we're going to be getting into tonight. So, as the song indicated, John Legend, Ordinary People, that song is very torchy to me, you know, like a torch song, piano lounge. Beautiful, I like it, but I'm just saying, very much gives me that vibe. We're going to be discussing Amanda Seales' comments that she won't date regular. And if you've been paying attention over the past couple of weeks, this is a topic that we've sort of been tapping into off and on because of Tyler Perry's comments and other things. You know, earlier in the summer, we had Ebony K. Williams' commentary with Iyanla. I don't know why. I know it in my mind, and when I go to speak it, I completely disrespect her name, but that's okay. She knows what I mean. Shout out to her. Yeah, but we've been having this conversation about women's worth and if they are, you know, being delusional. If you've been paying attention, you know what side of the fence that I sit on with this, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. We're going to examine it, you know. I like that. We're also going to talk about Nia Long. She had a post on Instagram today, and it was a video about white women taking accountability. And Nia hashtagged a particular name with this post. And she had some questions. So we're going to get into that. Keke Palmer, you know, we've been talking about Keke since July and her baby daddy and Usher baby and all of that. Well, Keke has put the hammer down and says, y'all need to mind your business. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about, once again, when we get invited to the group chat and then politely deleted from the group chat. We're going to have a conversation surrounding that. We're going to talk about, Doja Cat and her fans have been going at it. Her new album, Scarlet, was just dropped the other day. There's some bops on it. I like Doja. She's a vibe. Certain people like her. Certain people are not with her. And she and her fans have been going at it for the past few months. Well, a fan recently dropped a comment on her Instagram about Doja's black friends. And Doja didn't like that. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about Kevin Hart's comments. Kevin Hart says that people in the hood don't know to get savings accounts. They only know to use check cashing places and go to liquor stores. So we're going to take in Kevin's comments and have a conversation around that because, I don't know. Some people are a little offended by his commentary. Others, not so much. We're also going to get into a little bit of this Erica Mena story. There is a roundtable for Love and Hip Hop happening with a reaction to her comments and the aftermath. And Erica shares her thoughts on this roundtable and VH1's positioning. We're going to talk about the Big Three, the Miami Big Three, old school. And, there's been various reasons attributed to their formation. But in a recent interview, Dwayne Wade said that, listen, it's actually a Laker great that spurred the connection of Miami's Big Three. So we're going to talk about that. And, if there's time, there's more stories that we're going to get into, like Jamie Foxx and his friends being concerned that he might be getting married. But we'll get into that later. Before we get into the heart of the show, I have a couple of conversation starters for you guys. And I want to let you know that in the first hour, we're going to have Giandra LaBeouf calling in. Giandra's a TV and film critic and also a boxing commentator. We have a boxing match coming up this weekend with Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. So we're going to get some tips about the match from her, have a little conversation around that. Now, do you like mambo sauce? If you're from DC, I know that's a thing. People love it. It's a special thing. Well, the tomato-based, sweet, spicy, vinegary sauce that's very popular in DC is coming to McDonald's. McDonald's is going to be adding mambo sauce to their menu. So, you may partake in occasional chicken McNuggets meal, get a smoothie, the fries. That's my personal go-to, the fries. That's about all I eat from McDonald's since they don't have the fried apple pies anymore, which is a tragedy. But fries and mambo sauce might be a look. When we come forward, we're going to get into Serena and Venus Williams. They have a new documentary project that they're getting into. And we're going to get into Chris Brown. He's being sued. We're going to talk about that. All of that and more. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
More when we come forward.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Thank you, VIPs, for locking in. Now, really quickly, I want to share with you that there is a documentary being put together on the life of Diahann Carroll, who is a legend. Obviously, we lost her in October of 2019. So her daughter, along with Serena and Venus Williams, are working on collaborating for a documentary that highlights, different moments in her life. Obviously, Diahann Carroll was the first Black woman to star in her own television show, Julia. She was the first Black actress to win a Tony Award in a musical, No Strings. And the documentary will feature notable women reading passages from Carroll's diary, which her daughter discovered after her passing, along with never before seen home video footage, family photographs, private correspondence between Diahann Carroll and Sidney Poitier. So really something that we should check out. Diahann Carroll's a cultural icon, someone that I feel, as time went on, maybe the youth didn't understand how important she was and what she really meant. And baby, Dominique Devereaux on Dynasty, everything. So we'll give you details when that comes out and make sure that you know where you can check it out and be touched by Diahann. Now, on the line, we have my girl, Giandra LaBeouf, TV and film critic, boxing. I don't even know what to call you because you are just all-knowing. You give like the little backside details. I mean, Boxing Insider doesn't seem heightened enough. What do you think, Giandra? What should I do? How should I term it?
I think that I like that. I liked all that. It all sounded great to me. We'll just say a friend to the sport. That's what I'll go. That'll be my title.
A friend to the sport. I like that because you give us details. You give us the tidbits to look for in these matches. Give us training secrets. Well, maybe not secrets. You're not giving away any trade secrets. Just, a look behind the curtain, things that the average fan may not have privy to. So we are so excited to have you here. Welcome in, Giandra LaBeouf. You got the applause.
That was really cool. Oh, yes. Keep going. Yeah. All of it.
Welcome in. So there's a match coming up this weekend.
Yes, there is. It is that time, kids. We finally got to. We talked about this a few times. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo this weekend in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. It's going to be an interesting matchup, very, very much so. Like we've discussed before, we didn't think it was going to be this Charlo that would be facing Canelo, but alas, we are here, and, will the apple cart get upset? Who knows?
Are you heading out to Vegas for this?
I am. I am going to take off tomorrow morning, and myself and my partner, Cynthia Conti, will be out there doing interviews for our platform, Best Women's Boxing Show, period. So, period. We're actually going to be live streaming in a change for our show. We'll be live streaming from Radio Row, and we'll see who will sit down with us while we're in there. So we're going to be live streaming tomorrow after the final press conference for the main event, and then we'll be doing some live streaming, I believe, on Thursday. So, if you follow me on socials, I'll have times and all that, so stay tuned.
That's exciting. Hit off your social really quick so they can jot it down because, like I said, you're going to be behind the scenes, and we know you are going to ask the questions we want to know. And
for sure.
Let us know. Also, you're going to let us know who's in the building, the walkout things, all of the details so that we feel like we're in the environment too.
Absolutely. So make sure you follow me, Jeandra LeBeouf, Jeandra Lebeauf. If you see those names, it's probably me because I'm the only one on planet Earth with that name. I'm verified on Instagram, so if it ain't verified, it ain't me. And then you'll follow me on Twitter. But, yeah, I'm excited to see what this fight is going to look like because there's what the odds sayers say and what the sport could benefit from might be two different things.
Okay, so the odds sayers are leaning towards Canelo?
Absolutely. You can't underestimate Canelo Alvarez, particularly because he's fighting a Jermell Charlo that's moving up 2 weight classes to fight him. But sometimes a good little man beats a good bigger man, so you never know. Will that be the case here? But you can never put anything past anyone. It's the theater of the unknown.
So I talked to Charlo a couple weeks ago, and he said that, he's changed nothing in preparing for this fight. The last 30 days he started doing, he said, more family stuff and slowing down a little bit. What do you think his advantage is over Canelo?
So 3 physical advantages. There's always youth, size, and reach. He has the far less wars and things on his body because Canelo started so young. Canelo turned pro when he was like 15 years old. So he's been in substantially more wars, and not to mention how taxing training is. So Charlo has the youth advantage, he has the height advantage, and he has the reach advantage. So those are always good things if he's working behind a jab, etc., because I don't necessarily give Charlo the power advantage. However, when you have someone like Charlo, he's outside, he's 2 weight classes comfortably above him, not to mention being a veteran, being undisputed at multiple weight classes, a longer career, has faced many, many, many different styles. So you can never discount that. You can never discount Canelo in a fight.
Okay, so we have a lot to look forward to. I'm, riding with Charlo. I can't remember. It was some years ago. I actually have seen Canelo fight before. He won. I don't remember. It was at Home Depot, or was it at the Kia Forum? I can't remember. But I've been to a fight up close, and as I've shared with you, I do not like boxing matches in the building. Right. I prefer to watch them on TV because all of that power and those punches, it looks bad on TV. In person, though, I cringe. I'm like in my seat trying to hide because too much for me.
You don't want to hide. You're going to want to hide then during the undercard. Although some of the names that are fighting on this undercard might not be the most recognizable name in the sport, it is a solid competitive undercard. A lot of times with pay-per-views, especially this one, because the ticket price for this one for pay-per-view is $84.95, I believe, which is good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Hit him in the head.
Woo-wee! But at the same time, although these are not the most visible fighters in the sport, they are elite fighters. They're top-tier fighters, and it's going to be a really good undercard.
Okay, I like that. And before I let you go, there was an announcement, I think it just came down today or yesterday, about Devin Haney, was it, in San Francisco?
Yeah, Devin Haney is the undisputed champion, is going to be fighting against Regis Prograis. He's going to be moving up to 140 pounds. Regis Prograis is from New Orleans, Louisiana. He is one of my fellow Creoles. Creoles stand up. But they're going to be fighting in San Francisco. That's where Devin Haney is originally from. And he's looking to make his mark there. I mean, he's the boy with all the brass, and he's got the clout. Now, he's doing actually something out of Canelo's playbook. And before Canelo, Miguel Cotto, where he's working with a lot of different promotional platforms. He did his last fights with Top Rank, who's run by Bob Arum, who promoted Muhammad Ali amongst Floyd Mayweather, Oscar, all of them for many, many years. And so Haney just finished his deal with Top Rank, and now he's going back over to Matchroom Boxing, which is London-based, ran by Eddie Hearn. And they're going to do this fight in San Francisco. San Francisco is an interesting choice. But, hey, we'll see. We'll see. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. The location, not my favorite, but it's a great fight.
Okay, well, we are going to be locked in for both of those. Really quickly, Pretty Brown Mimi in the chat says, I forgot which fighter is with Oscar De La Hoya's management.
Canelo used to be with Oscar for many, many years. He was the face of Golden Boy. He and Oscar fell out and had a really kind of a rough patch when they were negotiating. And he just felt that Canelo felt that Oscar was disloyal to him. Before one of Canelo's really big fights was when Oscar fell out of grace and had to go to rehab again. And but these days Oscar is doing good, but he's no longer the promoter of Canelo. Canelo has his own promotion company called Canelo Promotions. I think it's Canelo Promotions. And so he promotes himself. He partners. He's now signed to some type of agreement with Al Heyman for 3 fights. And, at the end of these 3, that might be a wrap for Canelo, but we don't know for sure yet.
Okay, well, of course, when you get back, because I know that I'm going to have questions about something, you always get some exclusive, some behind-the-scenes details, so we'll be checking out your live stream. But, of course, we want to hear from you, when you return. And shout out to you and Cynthia. You guys are going to be right there in the building, in the thick of things, with great coverage, as always. So I appreciate you for taking time out to lock in with us tonight.
And before I go, I just want to say I'm very proud of you. You are really grinding, growing RSVP with Jill Munroe. You are, let me give you your flowers. Can we get the round of applause? Can we drop some clues bombs for Jill?
Oh, okay. There we go.
Holding it down at night. You do a fantastic job, and I'm super proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Shout out to the VIPs for rocking with me, too. They make it easier. And you, see, look, all of that.
I love it.
We love flowers all over the place. That's what we do. Thank you, Giandra. I look forward to talking to you when you get back and checking in on all the footage on your Instagram. Giandra LaBeouf, Instagram, Twitter. Giandra was here on YouTube.
All the things. And, of course, Best Women's Boxing Show, period. We have a big announcement coming for Best Women's Boxing Show, period, coming in the next couple of weeks. So I can't wait to talk about that. Jill, I'll call you.
Okay. Yeah, I need to know.
Like in about a week or so, we got some big things. So
wait, and Andy is calling you to the carpet. He said you cannot get off the line without giving your prediction. Don't try it.
Oh, and you see, I was almost out.
You were almost out the building.
I was almost out the building. As much as I love seeing the apple cart upset, and I truly do. I truly do. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen this time. My prediction is Canelo by a late stoppage, maybe by the 8th or 9th round. Please, Charlos, don't kill me. Love the Charlos. I've been interviewing them, many, many, many years since when they were both training with Ronnie Shields. And then now Jermell, who's fighting this weekend, trains with Derek James, who also trains Errol Spence Jr. But, yeah, my prediction is for Canelo, 8th or 9th round stoppage. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's my prediction.
We like it. And before, one more thing, because Andy's coming with the questions on the low. He said, what's going on with, oh, God, Jamal. I was about to call him Jermell, but something else. I don't know what I was about to go with it. He said, because originally this is supposed to be his fight in theory. So how is he doing? You have any updates on him?
From him, he seems to be in a place now that he is working on. He has some issues going on outside the ring. One of my colleagues, I can't remember, shout out to you. I'm not being shady. I just can't remember whose interview it was. I saw a snippet of an interview recently with Jamal Charlo saying that, he and his brother aren't talking. I know he's got some family issues going on. He's just got a lot of things that he's working through. The last time I interviewed, he was talking about turning to God and Christianity to find comfort. I think he and Ryan Garcia, who fought Tank Davis, I think they're pretty tight. And Ryan is real Christian and real outwardly with his faith. So he's just going through some issues. And, I don't know. The Charlos are giving me a little bit of Cain and Abel right now. So we shall see.
We shall see. Well, thank you, Giandra, as always. It's always a pleasure, and we will look out for your coverage, and we can't wait to see what happens in the fight this weekend.
Thank you. Keep it locked and keep rocking with Jill Munroe. Thank you.
Bye. Well,
Bye-bye.
We love when Giandra calls in and gives us the scoop. We got a little details about what's going on. Now, yes, we're going to get into the Amanda Seales conversation. I have a feeling some of you are going to be upset with me, but it's okay. It's okay. It is okay. But before we talk about that, really quickly, we talk about building wealth, expanding, getting into other businesses, but the capital to do that sometimes can be tricky. And it looks like Chris Brown might be experiencing that currently. When we come forward, I'll share with you about Chris Brown being sued because of unpaid loans dealing with a fast food franchises actually, that he was attempting to purchase, and, a couple of other things that are involved in it. Kind of an interesting story. Of course, we're going to talk about Amanda Seales, and we're going to let you in on the one NBA franchise outside of the Los Angeles Lakers that Magic Johnson said he would invest in. And it's none of the teams that have asked him to become a part of ownership over the past couple of years. We'll also share with you what teams are trying to snake Magic out of the Laker fold, even though technically he's not owner anymore. All of that and more, you're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and Sports is up next.
We make up on the way. I hang up, you call, we rise and we fall, and we feel like just walking away. But as our love advances, we take second chances. Though it's not a fantasy, I still want you to stay. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The husband of a Bronx daycare owner where a 1-year-old boy died due to fentanyl exposure has been arrested in Mexico. ABC News reports he was arrested by the DEA while on a bus in Sinaloa more than a week after Nicholas Dominici died and 3 other children were hospitalized in New York. Meanwhile, the Senate has voted to advance a short-term funding bill to avoid a government shutdown. The bipartisan measure would keep money flowing until mid-November to give Congress more time for a long-term package. However, the measure has to pass the House. A deal to fund the government must be passed by the end of the week. And the U.S. Supreme Court is rejecting an Alabama congressional map that features just one majority black district. It's the second time in 3 months Alabama Republicans have been handed a defeat. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The accident guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
Gotta stay fresh, ma. House shot with a respa. Shot with a respa. Shot with a respa.
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The bounce is back.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
1455 Frazee Road, Suite 1050, San Diego, California, 92108. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We had to let Shaka ride. Come on now. Ain't nobody. Whenever I hear this song, it makes me want to break out in like an 80s leotard and hit the dance studio like I'm Special K in Breaking with Turbo and Ozone to my left and my right. Major. I love this song. I love Shaka Khan, period. Shout out to Shaka Khan, a View Park resident at one point in the neighborhood close by the studios of KBLA Talk 1580, because you know we are live in Lamert Park. Shaka is from Chicago, but she's been in LA for an awfully long time. Shout out to her daughter, Andrea Malini. We grew up together. That's my girl, so much love to them. Love them.
How many entertainers have lived over here in View Park?
Hundreds, actually, honestly, between View Park, Baldwin Hills, and Ladera Heights. That's why it collectively has been known as the Black Beverly Hills. Back after the racial covenants were lifted in the late 1960s, you know, wealthy black people couldn't move to Beverly Hills, really. We know, you know, racism, all of those things. So after the Watts riots and the racial covenants have been lifted, as far as migration habits of the black middle class, it started moving more west and there were more communities. I think I mentioned before that the 10 freeway went right through West Adams, well, not West Adams area, but the Adams area was kind of considered like the black, the West Coast version of Sugar Hill on the East Coast. Hattie McDaniels, who was the first black woman to win an Oscar, she lived in the area. Her mansion is still there. And so, you know, they went through a bunch of things with the racial covenants. And then when they decided to build the 10 freeway, it was not lost on them that they would be going right through a black middle class neighborhood. And so because of migration patterns and all of that, a great number of celebrities made their homes in between those three neighborhoods starting in the late 1960s, early 70s. Like, if I ran down the list for y'all, you would just kind of be in shock. Mayor Tom Bradley lived over there, Auntie Maxine Waters, you know, just from politicians to political figures, celebrities, athletes, many of the Los Angeles Lakers. Hey, Jerry West even lived in Ladera Heights. So, you know, it was a special area, special time. So shout out to them. We appreciate it. But anyway, let's get back to these topics. So really quickly, I want to tell you what's going on with Chris Brown. Chris Brown is being sued by City National Bank for a $2 million loan that they gave him to purchase 2 locations of Popeye's Chicken. He was a part of a group that also included singer, producer The Dream. And it's not known if The Dream defaulted on part of his loan, but the bank stated Mr. Brown is a personal guarantor of the cash and has been ordered to repay $1.3 million as of February 17th, 2023. The borrower and the guarantor, so basically, you know, Chris was the co-signer, owe $2.1 million in unpaid principal and interest. So, listen. We got to see what happens. It's hard when you want to, you know, say you want to be a businessman, but you're not keeping up with your business. City National Bank offered the investment group the money in 2018. They were set to collect in 2023. However, the loan has sat with no movement behind it since February. So the Georgia court ruled in favor of the bank, and we'll have to see what happened. Chris Brown also owes money to several Burger King locations that he purchased as well. So he owns about 14 Burger King restaurants in the Virginia area. Didn't disclose how much money he owes as far as that loan, but you know, CB, we like you doing the entrepreneurial thing, but you got to pay it too. So shout out to him. Shout out to them. Now, let's get Prester John here with all the history. He said Lakers used to get their haircut at Morningside Barbershop on Crenshaw. I believe it, you know, all up and down the area. Really, Marcus Johnson, who was not a Laker, but he played for the Clippers. He's a Hall of Famer, went to Crenshaw High, UCLA, first John Wooden Award winner. He lives in View Park, Baldwin Hills, I believe. Quite a few people. Someone else, I just lost it. Anyway, the list is numerous and long. Judy Pace, I believe her house, she is one of the first black women on a soap opera. She was on a soap opera called Peyton Place, and she had a mansion over here. She was married to a baseball player with the Dodgers. I'm blanking on his name. I will get it for you, but their home is actually up for sale. Recently was put on the market, and they were there for many, many, many years. So sure, a lot of memories in that. Anyway, let's talk about this Amanda Seales thing. So, Amanda dropped an Instagram video recently, and we know Amanda's always outspoken. You either love her or you hate her. There's really no in-between. There's no middle ground, so it seems, when it comes to Amanda Seales. And she said that she tried to date regular guys, didn't work, and that, you know, she is ready to move on and only date extraordinary. Can we hear the clip? Do we have time?
Correct. People ask me, men ask me all the time, oh, you know, would you be with a regular dude? Would you, would you just be with a regular dude? And I for the longest, I felt like, you know, I need to just say, okay, because I don't want to be considered like I'm elitist or bougie or whatever. But you know what I'm not? Regular. So no, I don't want no regular dude. I don't. I'm exceptional. So you got to be exceptional.
Snaps to that, Amanda. I know people are probably upset, but listen, I feel like if you work hard and you set yourself apart, right, relationships are personal. They're really one-on-one. The details of it, how you get down in it, what you're attracted to, really is of little concern to the majority of the world. It's really about you and that person, right? So I feel like you should shoot for the stars. If you don't want average, if you don't want regular, and I feel like Amanda is someone who is given regular a shot, right? She dated an up-and-coming rapper at one point in time. We know she had the issues with the former NFL player who's now literally a brain surgeon, but she seems to have tried her hand in different areas. I can't speak on her relationships. I can't speak why they didn't go wrong. Prester John wants to know what constitutes regular. Regular, I think, means average, probably the mean. That could mean average income. That could mean someone, I mean, let's keep it a bean, right? Is she likely talking about someone that is probably at a higher financial clip? Maybe. She might have been tired of dealing with, you know, brokey boys, right? She might have been tired of paying for the vacations, given her financial status, or at least her social status, right? We're going to make those assumptions, not saying that it's true. Regular can also mean somebody that is working, you know, an average job. A regular could be a doctor. Regular could be the garbage man. Regular could be the manager of 5 Taco Bells. All of that could be regular to her. Someone maybe not involved in entertainment. That could be it. When we come forward, we're going to have a couple of more comments about this. The chat is going crazy, and I will give my take, but I bet you can guess what my take is. Shoot for the moon, ladies. All of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talent, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580, and we are discussing Amanda Seales' comments that she says no to dating regular guys. Prester John in the chat says, I know a lot of wealthy people who are psychologically irregular. And all of that is true. Listen, we can think of a bunch of different scenarios and the ways that something that seems extraordinary is actually very regular. There are all types of ways that we can break it down. But I think the idea, the sentiment is she don't want the pickle juice no more. She wants someone that is going to step up. She wants some matching energy, as we say. That's what I'm assuming. We don't know that for certain. But someone that can handle the demands of being with a woman like her, the spotlight, I'm saying, and the financial, obligation that might come along with it. Andy.
The last part, you said it. That's it.
The financial part?
That's all she's saying at the end of the day. I mean, that's it.
I mean, here's the thing. Do I think that that is a great portion of it? Yes, but there is, too, something to be said about dating a man that is maybe outside of the industry, that maybe cannot handle some of the things and the pressures that come along with it. We certainly will be talking about a situation where that seemed to have come up later, right? Maybe. Andy's not feeling it.
Because she already sounds elitist. She said she wasn't trying to sound elitist, but she does. She was better off not even saying anything.
But here's the thing. Don't you think, and I think that this is not fair, and we have Pretty Brown Mimi on the line from Jacksonville, so we're going to get to her, because I think that her sentiment is along the same lines. Don't you think that when women express any type of preference, right? That they're automatically looked at as being gold digger-ish or snobbish just by having the preference if it has anything to do with a financial status. But men
Absolutely.
aren't looked at as being superficial and shallow when they are
We get
looking
caught
for
out all the time.
physical attributes.
We get caught out all the time.
You get called out, but it's not considered, not, they aren't saying you need to lower your, we had this conversation last week. Nobody is telling men, you need to go for that solid 2 that will love you and cherish you. Nobody's telling you guys that. You guys aren't telling each other that. You are not saying shoot for the bottom half.
Hey, well, we do live in a patriarchal society, so I guess that's our privilege or whatnot. But, hey, I respect one's, preferences and all that other type of stuff. But it kind of hurts, just kind of. Or, it's a little sting when, there's this emphasis. Because, yeah, she could use the word regular. She could refer to herself as exceptional. We know what that means. Because, quite frankly, if Amanda Seales wasn't Amanda Seales, would she be saying the same stuff? But I get it, though. She's who she is. So that's the reason why I get it.
Maybe. We're going to get to Mimi and see what she wants to add to the conversation. Hey, Mimi, how are you tonight? Thank you for staying up late.
Hi, Jill. How are you?
Amazing. And yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I want to say between Ebony K. Williams, Tyler Perry, and Amanda Seales, we're going to have this conversation because black women, we need to be heard. I just want to say I agree with Andy, and Andy also gives kind of frugal vibes, which is okay. I'm just saying he kind of gives that vibe, and that was no shade, but that's fine.
I would go with more like fiscally responsible. That's
okay.
what I think. Fiscally responsible.
Even better. But I've noticed that when black women, when we say, we want to be with a man that is, I'll just say financially successful, but I can't think of a better word, but, financially successful. I'll say successful. It's a problem. I've noticed that, but when other women of other races say the same thing, it's not a controversy. And it's not necessarily a money thing. It's a lifestyle thing, You have bills, you have mortgages, you're a couple, you're a unit, and you want to pay your bills together. You want to travel, you want to do things. You want to go to South Africa, on nice trips. You want to go to Florida, up in Florida, whatever, but you want to go to places like Greece. You want to do things and experience memories. That costs money.
So when
Am
you
I
say
wrong here?
No, you're not wrong. When you say lifestyle does connect to money. Like I said, I'm not going to say that money isn't part of the equation. Prester John says women setting standards is absolutely necessary, but setting it solely on income is a recipe for disaster. Let me ask you a question, Prester John. Who said in any of this that it was solely based on income? Just because you have the finances, right, and you fit in the arena, doesn't mean you get the keys to the kingdom. It may mean that you have one qualification, but that doesn't mean that you obviously fill in the rest. I think that it is just a part of the standard, just as if someone was to say, hey, I like girls with short hair and nose ring. And if you don't have that, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily precluded from the conversation, but it just means that this is what I like a little bit more, and I'm going to gravitate towards it slightly. Andy?
Prester John just said it right there. Regular denotes income according to Amanda. I don't care how y'all spin it, any which way. It's the reason why we go out of our way to go after whatever it's the reason why we try to bust our tail.
No.
To earn an income.
No.
Right?
That's what men did. That's what men did. That is what men utilize to be able to jump around and attract the women that they wanted and bypass. No. They would bypass the regular ones.
Who's regular though? What's regular though?
Regular is whatever the individual in the conversation deems as such.
Regular is a 9-to-5 individual.
Maybe. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, right? When men step up their financial territory, right? How many of them keep the same girl? Don't they upgrade? like they upgrade their cars?
I can't speak for every man.
Not everyone, but have we not seen that be the case? That they trade in the old for a new model?
I don't know. I can't.
That's a lot of people's complaint.
I can't subscribe to that narrative.
Dwayne Wade, right? That is what they feel happened, right? That he got seduced by a Hollywood actress.
Look at LeBron James.
LeBron James stayed down. He didn't go anywhere. We're going to continue on.
Exactly.
No. We're going to continue on because unsubstantiated things. I'm not going to get into unsubstantiated things. LeBron stayed down with Savannah, but Savannah went through a lot, right? And Savannah had to upgrade herself over the course too, because people were horrible to Savannah early on when she was a young girl just out of high school. They were, saying that LeBron should be with someone else, someone more famous. They were throwing LeBron in the mix with everybody else, especially during that Miami run. So, I mean, yeah.
Shout out to LeBron for holding down the fort, though.
I appreciate that.
For real.
100%.
That's ideally what we want.
LeBron, Magic.
Absolutely, 100%.
Staying down.
Even though Magic did kind of.
Well, Magic did a lot, he did a lot. He made his way back, but he seemed to be honest about it. What did he break? 2 engagements, 3 engagements before they finally headed down the aisle? Girl, Cookie is a woman, a pillar. I don't know if I could have taken all those broken engagements. I would have cried.
Okay, so we were talking about regular. What's exceptional?
I mean, exceptional probably depends on the person. I'm sure a lot of this has to deal with whatever baggage or residual whatever from her last relationship. I don't know any details from that, but I'm sure it's a desire to improve upon the situation that she was last in and fill in whatever gaps were there. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it.
Because I will say Amanda Seales does strike me as an individual who will date the regular guy.
And she will. I believe that.
And shout out to her. So, I get it. If the regular dudes have, failed to step up their game, then, she has every right to, share with, with her,
And I do think that, yes, some of it is financial, but I do think some of it is attitude and perception and your goals and how you present yourself as well. Prester John says, and let me add, I'm coming from a place of deep love and unyielding admiration for Black women. And I believe you. I don't think that you've said anything that is offensive. I don't believe that you've indicated anything that seems out of line or that you are, saying that Black women should be going someplace else. I'm just trying to bring some balance to the situation and explain maybe some of the feelings, and also to bolster the fact that no one is saying that finances aren't a part of this conversation. But I definitely disagree when people say it is the only thing that is going to push this through. Mimi, you got 30 seconds. What do you have to say?
She got tired of paying all the bills.
That's what it is. Plain and simple. Maybe. Well, when we come forward, we're going to get into another woman that is tired. That is Miss Nia Long. She says that white women, y'all need to learn to be accountable. We're going to get into that and what that's about. We're going to get into Kevin Hart's comments about Black people in savings. We're going to talk about Offset and Bobby Atoff and how he kind of reversed her game back on her. And, of course, more trending topics and headlines. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is up next.
I must be dreaming. I want this dream